Once in a while, I do these videos, these random videos. It's not a culture I'm used to, but there's a part inside me that feels um, if my dad did it, it would make a difference. I know him differently. Sorry about that. So I was just here sitting, listening to the preaching. I'm here at work. This is a military base. Um, I'm here uh, just sitting in a United States government vehicle, as you might see uh, over here. Yep. Uh, Government plate. And I'm just thinking about my life. And I just noticed that on this globe, I have had a unique privilege to relate to so many circumstances. I believe in God, and I believe God has had a chance on this. Being born in a family of 7, my dad did not have a chance with his father, my grandfather, because what he told me and what I heard from um, my grandmother and other sources in the village is that my father's dad passed away when my father was 8 years old, 8 or 6. I don't. I'm not very. Um, I don't remember properly, but one of those, and they were born two. His brother was 4 years old. So I have a daughter um, who I call Happy Mangeni here with me in the United States. She's a Mutabona, Natabona by clan, a Samia and Natabona by clan. I was just thinking about my life, and I remembered that I was born around the time of war, and a lot of years between 77 and 86, it was war. I have gone to school seeing dead bodies, seeing fresh bodies, and the following day dogs had eaten over them. And this is the time I was studying at Naguru Katare Primary School. But my dad having a family of 7, it was mostly hand to mouth kind of living. I was struggling for school fees. I didn't put on shoes until I was probably 6 years old. Yeah. But I have related to different circumstances. My life was mostly church. When I discovered Watoto Church and when I got saved in P5, a lot was going at that time. But I got saved and started doing ministry at Watoto Church, which was Kampala Pentecost Church, First time I went down there was in, I believe it was 1991, and I had a cousin, should I say, who lived around Chag Road, where where there was a Greenland Bank or post office as you go to Kiseka Market, and that was the first time I went to KPC. But then it was like 100 people, and they still had those theater seats. But I loved the place. By that time, my dad was alive, and we were Anglican Church, Bukoto, St. Andrews. So I didn't have much privilege to be able to be attending there. But later, after like senior, but that was maybe P6. Then senior two, I started going to Watoto. I recommitted my life there during uh, Evangelist and Hell's Flames. I started ministering over there, and I did a lot of things. I did ushering. I'd go very early in the morning, would set up, make a set up for the choir and the musicians, and clean the church and dust the seats, and then go to children's church and help out. Then later we had explorers. Um, when we started the church vision, because it was a church vision first before the cell vision, and we had retreats, we had camps, church camps, what other camps, and I really served God. I don't regret that. Later, uh, my dad passed. Yeah, I was in that time. It's getting hot out there. I was in uh, senior five. So in senior five, I had to start fending for myself. When he died, there was nobody to take care of me. We lived in a government house, were thrown out. Pretty much studying became a problem, but somehow I was able to finish senior six. And then I couldn't continue, but I stayed serving God. In between, I had a chance to do theology and Bible. Somebody sponsored me, and I did, I think, 3.5 years of theology and Bible. But my dream was always to finish school, because my dad did not have a chance to finish school because he had to stop in junior two, and then started paying for his brother to study. Uh, so he was unable to finish. So I always wanted to finish. In between, I got a chance to be employed at IAA for Ian Clark, and I did well, despite the fact that they wanted somebody with a master's degree, and they had advertised in newspapers, New Vision. My boss showed me that advert. Um, I went there, was hired, and I did an amazing job. Um, but at the same time, my boss, Judy, who was customer care, sales, marketing, and orientation, um, in charge manager, and I was the assistant. We did a lot. I started mostly as a PA. So I did that for about 3 years, and then I had that chance of theology. I went to Kampala School of Theology on Buya Hill, started, finished. Um, and in between, I'm not clear around that time. But I know when I worked with Ian Clark, um, I got a chance to do a Global Fund project which I led, and we did a lot of project work. So uh, then Global Fund project was halted because of Museveni's thieves, and we lost jobs. So I went and volunteered with Watoto, so I was able to go to Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, and were helping out the orphans be able to access funds to study. It's amazing that I was an orphan. I didn't have funds to study, but I was helping out orphans. But God does not forget. I came back from volunteering and there was no job. But somehow the Global Fund Project had done an amazing job. One of the people who worked with connected me with the embassy. I ended up in Iraq holding a gun. And I saw a lot of things in Iraq, people getting blown up, people getting shot at, um, some people even committing suicide. Soldiers. I was in Iraq, finished, came back home, um, but I did not renew the contract because my boss, who was Colonel Kevin Gregory, who had liked me so much, had put in an application for me to come to the United States and study. Um, so I couldn't renew the contract. I had to wait for the response. So during that time, I didn't have a job. I went back to Kian Clark. He was like, "Oh, you did an amazing job here. Come, I'm giving you a position." He gave me a position, which I did for about a year. And then I had got the reply by end of the year. So I went and processed the immigrant visa and I came over to the United States. I was able to enroll in school and I finished school. My dream to finish school came true. And however much I had always wanted to be a lawyer, God gave me more. I am a criminologist, did a bachelor's of science degree in criminology. And bachelor of science degree in criminology here in the United States, a 4-year college, about $140,000 by year 2016. I was able to study and finish, um, and I had some due student debt, but it was about $30,000. You can imagine. The rest had been cleared, and in between, I get married and bring someone here, but she had her own mind about life, which is okay. But today I work with the United States military, the most powerful institution on earth. Um, it's very humbling, you know. Wake up in the morning to think, act, and catch up as the most powerful institution on earth wants me if I have to keep up. So, yeah, a rough run through some of my life. Right now, I've been able to build a house in Buate. It's a flat. It's a good house that I never expected to have. And I'm building in the village. I have cows out there and I have trees. God has projected me so far than the generations that I know before me. I owe him a lot of thanks. Well, for now, Reginald, Asamia, Mutawana Bai clan. Until then, stay tuned. Love you. Yep.